dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, welcome to New Life Live. It's Friday, January the 10th, and it's a great day for anything healthy, wonderful. And, I got to start off by saying this. We did the Intimacy in Marriage. Oh, by the way, joining me on two other separate and distinct microphones, Dr. Alice Benton, Dr. Sheri Keffer. Hi, guys.
I like that. Oh, by the way. Well, that's because he's excited about what we've got going on here, and that's good.
Okay. So I'm try to be brief, but I can't because it's so exciting. So we had this crew come out and do a documentary on intimacy in marriage. And, when they met the couples, went to their homes, started the documentary to see what people were like. And these people had signed up to come free, which you could do February the 14th. They'd already said, you can tell our story and we'll come free. Well, they called us and said, this isn't going to work. These marriages are in such bad shape. You cannot help these people. We think we might be wasting our time. Okay. So they come and they film. Well, Becky Brown she facilitates, and her co-facilitator is me. And I just had the best time ever co-facilitating the group. And boy, were there ever tough cases. Well, they did the editing, and they've just completed the first series, and they want to come back and do it again. They want part 2 for all this. So on February the 14th, we're going to be in Southern California for Intimacy in Marriage, and we want you to come and fix your marriage. But if you're willing to be part of this documentary and have your story told and be in the group with me and Becky, it's free. But you have to call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. So I'm really excited that a lot of people aren't just going to get a one-time view of what we do here and why the results are so astounding, but they're already on to episode 2. Now, here's the deal. Why are they doing this? Because we are able, through the power of the Holy Spirit, through some amazing clinicians whose whole life is dedicated to honoring Christ and helping others, and through practicing and revising this experience for 20 plus years, we're seeing results that other people just don't see. So if you're looking for something in your life, in your marriage, results that you just can't find anywhere else, call us. And you might say, oh, well, I don't want to be on camera, and I don't want to, but I don't have the resources. You don't know what kind of scholarship money is available until you call and find out. And so that's my big plea here as we start the program. Come be part of Intimacy in Marriage Intensive. It really could be the beginning of a whole new life for you. Let's go to the phones right off the bat. Teresa, Gillsville, Florida, I believe it is. Sirius XM Satellite Radio. How are you and what's going on?
It's Gillsville, Georgia.
Yeah, hi.
I'm from Georgia.
How can we help?
My question is that I lost my sister 2 years ago to breast cancer, and then it turned into heart cancer, and we lost her. And then in October of this year, I lost my mother, and we have been an extremely close family. And now my father, he's 76 years old, and he's grieving himself to death. And my question is how do I help my father when I'm grieving so bad myself?
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, you hold on. We're going to give you some help. And I'm so glad that you called. We're going to help you here. You're listening to New Life Live. Dr. Sheri Keffer is the author of Intimate Deception. So many of our listeners have been there. You can get a copy of that by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll be back right after this.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop Workshop. If you affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography. It might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 28th to March the 1st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and Teresa is struggling, and so much loss here. And I think what your question was, how can I help my dad when I'm having so much pain myself? Is that right? Was that the question?
Yes.
I'm so sorry for all of this loss in a close-knit family. That's got to be really, really tough. Alice, what are you thinking here? How could we help her?
Oh, Teresa, you and your father have gone through too much too quickly, and I hear your concern too about his health, that he might be grieving himself to death. And so that you have the heart to look out for him and to try to help him, I honor that about you. And my answer might sound strange, because my concern is you may overextend yourself in giving perhaps more than you have to give right now to your father. And so I think the best way you can help him is making sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're getting the support you need, you're talking about your grief, perhaps attending a grief group, so that you fill your tank up enough to be able to also give to your dad. And what you can do with your father, if you're getting strengthened by other people, what you can then do with him is offer your time and offer your ear and acknowledge his loss and give him the space then to talk with you and to shed tears with you. But you got to build yourself up to be able to do that for him.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Teresa, churches have this group called Grief Share. And I cannot think of any better use of your time than, you know, you find a church that's doing that, and that's where you and your dad get some help. And you know, the problem with Grief Share is you think, well, it's just too painful for me to go be with other people that are in pain, but it really can change everything. And I'm going to send you this new workbook we have. It's the Grief Workbook for the Life Recovery Bible. So I'm going to send you 2 Life Recovery Bibles and 2 of these grief workbooks right along with Healing is a Choice to help in this. But look, there is nothing wrong with saying to your dad, we need to go to this Grief Share group, or Dad, I'm going to go see a counselor. Maybe let's go together a couple of times, and the counselor might say, this is great, you guys doing it together. Might say, you know, I need to see one at a time. I just wouldn't take it on, like Alice is saying, by yourself. I really would reach out and get some help and encourage him not to isolate, because I think that's that's the most devastating thing to a man who loses his wife like this, is he isolates, and everything unhealthy possible starts to set in.
I love the verse in Romans 12:15 that says, weep with those who weep. You know, and I think sometimes when we lose a parent, we feel like we can't weep with that parent, like we have to be strong, or that parent feels like they can't weep with us because they need to take care of us. But actually, God gives us permission to just weep, and it's okay to share those tears together.
That's right. All right. Andrea, Fort Worth, Texas, KWRD is the station. What's going on, Andrea? How can we help you today?
Hi. I just wanted to call. My mom listens, and she told me to call and ask for some advice, and so I was like, okay, well, why not? My husband and I have been having, it's a long story. I don't know if I don't know if y'all have time for me to start from the beginning, but...
Well, why don't you start with this? What is the problem that your mom sees that you're having to deal with your husband?
He's very abusive in multiple ways, like physically and verbally, emotionally, financially, all the things.
Okay.
And we've been trying to go see. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to ask, and what's the source of all this abuse? I mean, either he was horrifically abused, or he's using drugs or alcohol, or where's all this coming from?
Growing up, his parents divorced, and his mother had a couple different boyfriends and some husbands that would she would bring home, and they would beat up on her and sometimes him and his sister. And I think that's a huge reason why he is the way he is today.
Okay. And what kind of help are you getting? What kind of help are you getting?
We see a counselor, actually a new life counselor that is local here, and we see her. We haven't seen her in the past few weeks, but we usually see her frequently. He stopped going with me together. I've been going individually.
Okay. And does this person know that he's been physically abusive with you?
Yes, and I forgot to leave out that he's also an alcoholic.
Well, that's a huge headline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you in Al-Anon? Are you going to Al-Anon meetings?
Oh, are you? No, I'm not.
And Andrea, is the abuse ongoing now?
Okay, so the physical abuse started when we had first, about a year after we had been married, and there was nothing that had caused that I had done.
But Andrea, is it still happening now?
Yes.
So marriage therapy right now, it's a word. It's calls contraindicated, meaning it's not a good time to do it.
Right.
It's not a good time to do marriage therapy when there's active abuse in the home. And so I'm really glad you're still seeing your counselor. But I want you to have her help you look at what it is about you that is tolerating, allowing, staying in an active, abusive relationship with an addict. His drinking is playing into his brain chemistry and his loss of impulse control. That's making it worse. It's like greasing the skids for him. But my concern is your safety, period.
Yes, that's actually, I finally, why I called, because I had a conversation with my mom last night and this morning. But actually, last night I put my foot down and I told my husband that I'm not going to tolerate that anymore, and things blew up and everything, and I left our house with my two kids, and so my question, I guess, is what's the next step? Like, what do I do to file for a divorce, I guess, or is that the wrong choice? Or
Well, you don't go back home right now. You don't go back home.
Right.
Do you have a place?
I am home, but he's at work, so.
No, but he comes home? You left, but then you went back home. You need a place away from him right now, sweetheart. Yeah. You need a safe harbor. Those children are watching abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I love your heart. I love that it's breaking right now, because I want you to protect them and protect you.
Just as a
him, if they see this.
Well, and that's why we're telling you to step away. We're telling you not to be with him.
So is it possible that until you could figure things out long term, that the three of you could go stay with your mom?
Yes.
Okay, so if I were you, I would do that right now. I would not be there when he gets home. Because what you're saying is, I'm not really serious about how dangerous you are. being with your mom and keeping those kids and you out of that setting would say to a lot of people, she's very serious and he has a very serious problem. But the number one priority, and this is so sad that this isn't obvious to a lot of folks. Number one priority is the safety of the children. Number two priority is your safety. And you can't take care of the safety of the children if you're not safe, see? So it kind of just all works together. I would get those kids, I would go stay with your mother, and when he comes home, he would find a note, and it would say, we're at my mom's. Do not come here.
And then don't go back. You know, that's where a lot of women feel guilty, or they think they need to go back and rescue, or they are in fantasy over the fact that, you know, maybe if I left too soon, or maybe I can help him heal, and all that stuff he's shown you over the days, weeks, and months that he's unsafe. Leslie Vernick has an amazing book. It's called The Emotionally Destructive Marriage. And I love her work. She basically helps people look at the difference between a disappointing marriage and a destructive marriage. And the reason we're being so clear and cautious, and the reason your mom loves you so much, she had you call us today, is because we're hearing the destruction.
Right. And here's the irony that we know, and it's pretty astounding. The greatest hope that you have in this marriage being restored is giving him a message that there is no hope for the marriage going on the way it is today. Do you see what I'm saying? The greatest hope is him believing.
What I've been trying to do.
Okay, so you can't do that going back home and being there and spending the night in the same bed with him. So when you don't go home, you're saying to him, things are different now. I'm strong. I'm not weak. You are not in control of me. And that makes him very afraid. That's why you need to be safe. If you need a restraining order, you get that too. But look, the problem here is he is not going to get better until he stops the drinking. And so, ground zero is the drinking has to go away at a minimum. But many times when a woman like you finally takes charge and control, you get the attorney to give you some advice, then all of a sudden things change and he is not in control, and he realizes, okay, things are going to have to change and it's going to be me. He needs to get into any kind of treatment he can for the alcohol to stop, for the use of alcohol to stop. That's the number one priority after you get you and the kids safe. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
Andrea, you don't have to decide about a divorce right now.
No.
But talking to a lawyer to get legal protection and to consider a legal separation, because you can't trust what your husband will do with the finances or with the home. It will be in the best interest of you and the children to consult with an attorney and get that advice.
Okay.
And you don't tell him, I'm going to go see an attorney. You go see the attorney, see? And if you need to borrow some money, then the attorney will tell you how to get control of whatever is your money. Now, here's the other option, is that he, for some reason, feels convicted, comes home, says, I'm a different man. I'm going to go get help. I'm checking into a treatment center. I'm going to the halfway house. I'm going to go to the Salvation Army. I'm going to do something so that I become the man I need to be. See, that's what we're wanting to have happen. We don't want to see a divorce. We don't want to see these kids without a dad. But what's happening now, But what's happening now is actually causing your kids to be without a dad, and certainly a healthy dad today, or even any dad. We're giving you the best hope.
It's causing more harm. It's causing more harm to have them watch that than it is to have them safe.
You're taking such a good, brave risk.
We're proud of you. We're behind
so
you. We vote.
Yep.
We vote. All three of us.
You know, I went to the dentist before radio today. And if you go to a dentist, you know this principle. Not all pain is harmful. And if my goal in life is no pain, I'm going to have no teeth. But when we say, you know what, sometimes it's the pain that leads to the healing. It's the scalpel of truth wielded by a person who's determined to honor God with every part of their life. That's when we start to see things different. And if I could say anything to you, I would say this. There's a God in heaven who loves you, Andrea, enough to give you a mom that says, call that radio program on a day when these two women are here and we are focused on you. And we want the best for you. We're going to help you. You hold on. We'll talk to you later.
My wife had found me out and came home one weekend. She had revealed my secret. The only reason I was sorry at that time is because I had been caught. I had had the Every Man's Battle book for years and pulled that book out that weekend and found the phone number on the back and called it, and then a week later I was at Every Man's Battle. It really gave me the start I needed for my recovery. I never had had that opportunity to sit down with guys I didn't even know and totally open up. The good thing was I was opening up to guys I didn't even know. So why did I care? Just lay it all out on the table. I have nothing to lose. You need to check it out. At least go online, check out what it's about, and take the chance and go do it.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to go on struggling, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay in the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
All right. I'm really glad she called, and all of those that support us, that's what you're supporting, that kind of help. And we love her. We love that man. He probably was severely abused, and I just... I got to tell you, I pray for him, and I hope that he will get some help, and I hope her strength will show him I can't do this anymore the same way that I've been doing it. All right, let's go to John, Pensacola, Florida, WEGS. Hey, John, how are you?
I am well. Thank you for taking my call.
Great. You're welcome. What's going on?
Well, we've got a 22-year-old. We found out back in 5th grade he was introduced to pornography.
Okay.
Late in high school, we found out about it. We've tried a few things. Got the Conquer series. He went through that with a friend recently. I had him. We paid for a counselor. He was going to a counselor for a little while. That's dropped off. We think he's still struggling with it, and his attitude is, I can handle it.
Why haven't you taken him to Every Man's Battle? I'm just curious. You're a listener. That's what we do. We've seen so many men help. Why not that?
Yeah, well, I guess because we thought maybe we could handle it another way, but I don't
it's
know.
It's the best way, and I'll tell you what's really powerful if you'll go with him.
Okay.
That's because then now you guys have a bond over something that's separating you. That's what that does.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
I looked into it's called Pure Life, a 9-month program, and he said, that's not for me, So,
but
again, I'm just wondering.
I'm not sure how to convince him.
Well, but he's in denial, John.
Yeah, sure.
Denial is a very powerful, holds a very powerful place in acting out in addiction, and he's been using since he's in 5th grade. He's probably struggling with a real live porn addiction. And so it's not something you can quickly bounce out of. And so denial, minimizing, justifying, right, saying I can handle it is part of the cycle of acting out. And so what Steve is inviting you into is not finding something for him to do, but entering into the dark with him. I mean, isn't that what Jesus does with us? I mean, he came to this earth and got very uncomfortable in order to enter into our dark. I had dark, and I've been grateful that there's been a handful of people that have loved me in my dark space. It's the most vulnerable place, because I expect people to reject me or to tell me that I have expected people to reject me or to tell me that I'm unhelpable. But I know those faces of those friends who held on and went into the dark with me.
And John, maybe you could help me. I'm just wondering why all this other stuff. And you're saying, but we wanted to see if he could do something else. Maybe there's an impression you have or others have about Every Man's Battle that would cause that to be something to avoid rather than. And what is that? Tell me about that.
Yes. Okay. We had heard that some had said that there's some stuff that they, I don't know, get into or talk about or see that could actually trigger to stay involved in it. So, I mean, I have no idea. I've never been to one, so
let me tell you.
I had heard a little bit of negative.
So let me tell you something. Porn is dark. I have had to go in because I'm dealing so much with the partners, the wives, the girlfriends. Porn is as black as it gets. And so he's not going to hear anything. He hasn't already been drinking and eating, right, with the porn. But I hear your fear, but let me tell you what I think would be fabulous is I think he's going to go. He's going to get in a group of guys. There's not going to be shame. But I think it's going to be a scared straight because he's going to see his life in 5 years from now if he doesn't deal with it 10 years from now. And I think it could be a fabulous intervention.
Now let me give you a little theme here that people have heard me talk about the past few weeks, and that is the fatal excuse. And you've latched on to a fatal excuse, and what I mean is it prevents the healing from taking place because you latch on to something. Now, if you've listened to this program, you would know that the theology that I have as I run this ministry is about as conservative as you can get. And to think that we would do some kind of workshop where we're showing stuff or introducing people, Every Man's Battle, it was the first book about all of this for the church world. And our board, like one of our board members took his future son-in-law before the wedding through this. If there was crummy stuff going on, we wouldn't be doing it. And so somehow Satan has used somebody's jealousy of the program, which that's happened before, or something, to keep you guys out of it and away from it. I think it's your answer for him is you just go. And it's a weekend, It's just a weekend and everything changes. So I want to talk to you about that off the air. I'm going to send you, we've got the revised book. We'll get that to you guys. But oh my goodness, John, this could be huge for both of you.
For most
most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of the problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
Glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here. Larry Sonnenberg goes to every one of our Every Man's Battle workshops, unless he's sick or something like that. Larry, you were listening to this call.
Yeah, I was, and on the other end of the building, my office, and I said when I came in here, is all I could do not to run in and engage with John, because his concerns are so unfounded for any reason at all. The integrity of the speaker, the integrity of the men doing the groups, the experience that these guys have with no shame. It's the only place. I mean, men have gone there and shared their guts after 20, 30, 40 years of living in secrecy and privacy. And the only thing this young man might hear is something that other men are doing that might be a surprise to him. But it's better to hear it, as you just said, Steve, when we were talking offline here, better for him to hear it than to get further into what he's in and start doing it.
Well, that is my point, that if he's still involved, rather than go to something and one guy saying, I was involved with this and that, and you've never heard of anybody involved with that before, if you're still there because of the diminishing returns of pornography, you're going to be involved with that rather than hear somebody talk about it. And it's just like someone might say at age, well, I don't want to read anything to my child about masturbation because I'd hate to. Well, you know what? You need to be the one that introduces that to the child. You need to be the first one that says, hey, this is what, versus he has to wonder about this or discover it or hear about it from somebody else. Anyway, it's the redemptive power of Every Man's Battle with those great Christian counselors and Jason Martinkus and his openness and his story. It's just phenomenal, and I hope anybody that has heard anything like you might discover something you didn't know about. You won't let that fatal excuse be the thing that keeps you or someone you love from getting help.
And
Larry, why don't you talk about?
I wanted to say one more thing, not to mention what might happen, where these group of guys look at him and say, "Dude, I'm so proud of you. You're here. You get out now, man." I mean that word from other men that he can relate to.
That happens with the younger men that come in.
I bet it does.
It does. The older men,
and
they put their arms around him, love him, and just say, "I wish I'd have done this when I was your age."
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's 22, and so it's the right time. I hope that they will come. Larry, while you're here, talk about support. Okay. It's January the 10th, I believe.
Right.
And we need people to help.
We do. It's an ongoing thing, and I'm sorry to be repetitious and always being the one to come and say, please give us a hand and make a gift to New Life. We need your help. Join Club New Life. Give to the Scholarship Fund. There's a lot of ways you can give. But it's like we were just talking, it's because of the life change. And our next workshop, that's not an Every Man's Battle workshop, is it's about 5 or 6 weeks away. And it's our intimacy in marriage. And Steve, I was looking through testimonies. We have so many. And here's one I wanted to share with you. This guy, he says, I attended Every Man's Battle in an effort to find healing for a pornography problem I've been battling since I was 10 years old.
Right around 5th grade.
I'm 53 now.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? 43 years.
Yeah.
So
oh my goodness.
Let's stop this kid's at 12 years. And I found healing and restoration in my relationship with God and my wife. This workshop, the Intimacy in Marriage, has given us an additional insight that we can use to continue heal our relationship. We learn techniques that allow us to experience a level of emotional intimacy that we have not experienced in our 29-year marriage, or at any time in our lives. We now have hope that our marriage will honor God, will be an example to our adult children of God's power to repair a broken marriage. And it is God's power. We do the workshop, we present it, but God's the one that comes in and does the work. This man just goes on to say how he's now going to support New Life and be a Club New Life member. But my purpose of reading this testimony is to help you see that what we do affects life change and makes a huge effect in lives across the board and down generationally.
Help us help others. Please help us get the word out. Help us get people into Every Man's Battle. Come join us for the workshop. If you support us, a gift of any amount, I'll send you this brand new workbook right along with the Life Recovery Bible. It's the grief workbook, and it takes you through the grieving process. It's very powerful. Very proud that we're able to offer that. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, let's go back to our calls here and talk with Carolyn, Dallas, Texas. KWRD is the station. Hi there.
Hello. I appreciate you taking my call. I lost my 7-year-old granddaughter last January. It's almost a year.
Oh no!
What happened?
She died of flu complications, and it's devastated our family.
Sure.
And,
oh my goodness.
It has brought me closer to God, and my faith has gotten stronger, but it has torn my daughter away from God. She's angry, and it's affected our relationship tremendously. It's like I can't say anything or try to, say anything encouraging, or I especially can't talk about anything to do with God or Jesus. She gets mad, and it's like, she's got to take her anger out on somebody, and it's me, and I don't know how to help her.
Okay, you have called the right place to get the right kind of advice for her. Sheri, I'm going to let you step out here first of all and help her to know how to be there for her daughter.
So, first off, we are so sorry, girl. It's so devastating to hear about your little granddaughter that passed away from something like the flu. And I think that's part of where the ache even gets worse, because it is something that so many people survive. So many children get it and come out of it. And that might be where some of her anger and hurt is coming from. I mean, she's got a spiritual faith trauma. And that is 100% normal for somebody who's been impacted by the death of a child, and especially this way. And so I'm gonna take a little risk here, because I think I'm gonna risk with you because I think a lot of us don't really understand the grieving process. We kind of get muddied up in all the heartache, and I think unknowingly, when we're trying to do the right thing, which is love and encourage and come alongside of and support, I think we are afraid about sitting in the weeds with others. And so I think what's happening is you're coming to her you're coming to her trying to, and just hear me out for a second, trying to fix her pain, trying to help her pain, trying to put some lipstick on this horrible thing. And she's pushing back from you. She's angry at you because you're not matching the level of the dark that she's in right now. And so oftentimes what I do is encourage parents like yourself. I say, don't go in and put a lipstick on this pig. Don't. Just say, I am so sad. Period. I'm heartbroken. Period.
Well, aren't you
don't
a little
go
angry?
up.
Aren't you a little angry about her death at all?
I have been. I've worked through it, but I mean, it's been almost a year.
It doesn't matter. I'm already hearing, darling, I'm already hearing it's been a year. It's your granddaughter, right? And it's her daughter.
As much as it did when it happened.
I know, but you're somewhat on a fast track. I can hear it. I really want you to slow down. And I want
You're
you
right.
to...
You're exactly right.
Okay,
thank
you.
I've always been able to fix things, and I can't fix them.
You can't. You can't.
But you know what? You can be part of, we won't say fix, but you can be part of the healing process in a way that fixing has never been. It's a new role for you, and it's a deeper, richer role. And I tell you what I think. If you decide, I'm going to be present for her in her pain, she's going to experience her mother in a way she's never experienced you before, and it's going to build your relationship with her, and then I think that kind of opens the door to a new relationship with God.
It's like she needs a bigger womb.
Yeah.
She needs a bigger womb to cry.
And you open that space, Carolyn, by apologizing that you've pushed her too fast to be better.
Good one.
And by apologizing that you've probably pushed God and Jesus on her too much. She has every right to be angry, and that you can hear her anger. But if she's been mistreating you in her anger, then you also put a limit on that. That if you start shouting at me or cursing, then I got to hang up. I'll check back with you later. But I can hear your anger towards God, and it's okay. I'm not going to push you anymore in this.
I don't know what her reaction would be, but most likely if you were to call and say, I've had a new insight I want to share with you, and I want to apologize.
She said, we need to talk. She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. You know, I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. You know, I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. You know, they'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, you know, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. You know, it's no longer simply about surviving. For the first time ever, you know, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Gift of any amount. I'll send you a copy of this Life Recovery Grief Workbook. There just simply are not enough resources on grief. This is a powerful one. We've mentioned workshops, Intimacy in Marriage, February 14th. Come join us, please. It could change everything. Restore, February 28th, and Finding Freedom, July 24th, Washington, D.C. That is not a political rally. That is a time for you to come and get free from whatever it is that's holding you back from being all that God called you to be and wants you to be. Right now, let's go to Tony and see what Tony has to say. Tony, Jacksonville, Florida, WTRJ. Hi, Tony. Tony, you're on.
Good afternoon. Thanks for. I was just saying good afternoon and thanks for having me and thanks for your show.
Sure. What's going
on? My situation is right now I'm currently separated from my wife. It's been 4 months. She's made it clear to the children and myself that we're not going to be together.
What happened? Why is she thinking that? What's going on?
I committed adultery, and we were in marriage counseling for a couple of months. And after marriage counseling, which we should have stayed in marriage counseling, but after marriage counseling, the pain was just a lot for her to still deal with. And then we had a big argument, and then we separated. And she lived in her home, and I lived in my home, and I didn't think it would be this long. It's been 4 months. We don't have any contact except for like the kids when we're dropping off the kids or picking up the kids. The kids spend 1 week with her and 1 week with me, and she's also pregnant with my child, and she's about to be due in February.
Wow.
And
okay, let me ask you this real quick. Tell me what you have done. I mean, you ripped out her heart, you broke the vow. What have you done to win her heart back, to get help for the problem that led to the affair? What have you done?
First and foremost, I ran to God. I had no choice. I'm not who I used to be at all. She doesn't know it because we don't even see each other for a minute when we swap kids. But
tell me what you've done. What are the things that you've done to repair your heart and soul?
Well, personally, I just went to marriage counseling, and I wrote her a letter, and I just tried to take the time away from her to get close to God as possible and to see what the problems were. It was more than just the adultery. It was other problems as well that this separation has allowed me to understand why she wants nothing to do with me.
So Tony, my heart is pounding right now, and I know we have just a few minutes here. I think the reason my heart is pounding is because I have been exactly where your wife has been. And when I hear you right now, can I be really honest with you? Would you allow me to just speak from her heart? When I hear you right now, I'm hearing a lot of minimization. I'm hearing you making light of the biggest pain that she's experienced with you right now. The idea that it's been 4 months, you said, it's been 4 months. I wanted to, if I was sitting right next to you, I'd say, Tony, she's still bleeding out. Do you know she was pregnant when you were with the other woman? So she's trying to take that all in. She's holding your baby in her womb, and then she's got your kids. And then she's saying, how could he be with another woman when I'm carrying his child? So that's where she's at. And so when you say, I'm a different guy, I'm not the same person, you know what that is? Defending. You're trying to make yourself look better when you haven't even started to really own the depth of impact for what you've done, my friend. Thank you for saying this. Thank you, because that's her heart. And the more you do that, she's going to move further away, because this is what she's saying. You don't get it. You don't get it. But if she were to hear this, oh my gosh, I've blown you up. I can't imagine how you must feel, because I betrayed you when you were holding our child in your womb. I can't imagine where your mind must be right now to have blown up our trust. And I don't know if you would ever think about giving me and us another chance, but I am right now in a daily recovery group for men with sexual integrity issues. I'm going to the Every Man's Battle workshop. I'm in therapy once or twice a week. I am looking at what I did and how I hurt you, because I need to face the damage. Now that's a different conversation, right?
And imagine her hearing you say this: if you never ever talk to me again, if we never get back together, I can't blame you one bit. In fact, Jesus said you're free. But I'm going to tell you this: whether we get back or not, I'm going to become the man you thought you married. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm reading a book. I'm going to a Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting twice a week. I'm seeing a male counselor who specializes in this particular problem. I went to Every Man's Battle. I'm in their Sustained Victory program. Honey, I am doing this because I want to be God's man. I actually believe if you would just slow down and watch what I do, you might want to be part of my life. But whether that ever happens or not, I'm going to honor you by becoming the man that I want to be. That's different than I've been sitting around thinking about what I was.
Amen.
Because I got to tell you something. I got a lot of wisdom here at age 66. The more I think about myself versus sit in front of a therapist, which I did yesterday, the worse I get. I need help. And if I need help, you really need help to win her heart back.
And I want to send you a copy of my book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal, because I want you to read about the impact of sexual betrayal so you can understand her better.
And let's get you into Every Man's Battle, and I'm telling you, that right there is going to change the way you see everything and the way you communicate with her, and it's going to give you the foundation, I think, that you need to be the man you want to be. Alice, you have a thought here.
Tony, show her proof. Have the counselor call her. Yeah. Have the group sign up a copy of that to give to her, because your words don't mean much right now, and you've got to make them mean something by the actions you take.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of times we talk about what we're willing to do, but are we actually doing it? And, you guys, if you're unfaithful, and you can do so much more good by getting in the car and going to a meeting than talking about how much more spiritual you are, or time you spend in prayer, or whatever. Those are good things, but you need help. You need to win her heart back. You call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll tell you about Every Man's Battle. We'll get you the help you need. Whatever you're dealing with, we've got counselors everywhere. We've got resources. This grief workbook, Life Recovery, it's powerful. Thank you, Sheri. And thank you, Alice. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Call us.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.